Thank you for tuning in to Mokah Speaks. It's time for a real conversation. Speak your mind, speak your truth.
I always tell people, no matter what, don't just vote for somebody based off of what somebody else told you. Do your own homework, do your own research, and even reach out to these candidates. Several people have reached out to me and be like, who should I vote for? I said, you need to reach out to these candidates yourself, and whoever respond and talk to you, it might give you your answer. All right, so now we have Craig Toppell and Kimberly Bennett in the runoff, and they're both fabulous candidates. I've seen a lot of positive response online, so I want them to clearly define why they are the best or the better candidate. So we're going to start with affordable housing. Athens continued to raise concerns about rising rent, wages, and displacement. Kimberly, what specific policies would you support to address affordable housing in Athens, and how do you balance development with protecting long-term residents from displacement?
I think one of the first things we have to look at is when we're looking at specific policies, we have to look at the zonings. And different zonings allow us to allow small development. So those small developments will allow us to build smaller homes to allow people who are working class people to be able to afford housing. Another zoning would be some ADUs that people can have in their back spaces. Protecting long-term residents would be, making sure that our taxing, we're not taxing out our residents, and that we are also looking at spaces that long-term residents and affordability, meaning they have options. When I'm thinking about the families that I serve, I'm thinking about families that are working here, making $15 to $20 an hour. They're being priced out, and they're not able to have adequate places to serve their families. And so we need to think about subsidized housing that can meet those needs. And so that's one of my concerns.
All right. So what about you, Craig? How would you address this issue? What specific policies would you support, or ideas that you have to balance it out?
Sure. Thanks for having us on, Mokah. This is great to be on this program, and such an important conversation. It is, as you say, it is a national crisis, this housing issue. With the subprime mortgaging crisis that we had back in 2008, we created this lack of supply. And now we're trying to catch up. And how do we address that at a local level? You and your organization have done really tremendous work in terms of getting at the heart of what we can address here at a local level. We need to advocate at a state level to get rent controls. We need to fulfill what has already been passed in terms of allowing for ADUs. And then the other proposals that your group and other groups have made in terms of addressing this issue, overlay zones, but addressing zoning is probably from what I hear, from what I continue to be told, addressing zoning is going to be the main way that we can get at having people to have a roof over their head. This isn't an abstract thing. This is people need a place to stay. And so this is a heart issue where we need to make the effort that we can to ensure that people have a place that they can lay their head, that they can afford to stay where they are. And so increasing supply is going to be the way to do it. Now, my sense is, and maybe I would like this, our sense as those who are running for this race is Athens is ready to go. People are recognizing that change has been coming. Athens continues to grow. And my sense is where there's been some resistance, people are like, okay, we're embracing this. Athens is going to be different from what it's been. And I think that there's some really positive things that can happen as a result.
Kimberly, did you have any pushback or feedback that you wanted to add to that?
Nice.
All right, what is ADUs? I know what it is, but can
Right.
you say it to the public, because we use terminology that I've
Auxiliary
heard?
dwelling unit. If you'd asked me that 6 months ago, I would not have been able to say.
Thank you, thank you. And so many residents say that they have never seen or heard from these candidates until election season. That is one of the things that keeps coming up, and both of you guys are going to be new commissioners, right? So what would you do differently to ensure that you are consistently engaging with your district, not just during election, moving forward? Who wants to go first?
I don't mind going first. Um, I've been engaged in Athens for 20 years, serving in many aspects of the community. I Getting elected is not going to be new with engaging in the community. I will continue to do that work, continue to show up, continue to be at the doors, continue to hear from my constituents and their concerns as I have been through this campaign. Um, that's one of the greatest things that I have enjoyed is listening to the residents. Um, Listening to people is how we're going to get things done and making sure that their voice matters when we're making hard decisions.
Craig.
hmm It's showing up during the campaigning, and that's been really a fulfilling aspect of this journey that we've been on. Is having permission to go door to door and like having those conversations and being available. So and it's been an interesting transformation, probably this way for you too, Miss Bennett, is to go from who are you, what do you want, to is it you, to oh it's you, like where there's this visibility piece that picks up over the course of this, right? And now people are wanting assurance. If I call you, are you going to answer?
Very important.
Are you going to show up in our community once this election is over? And so that is the commitment that I have been making time and again as I've had these conversations. When you have block parties, invite me. Here's my phone number, and I give my phone number. You know, so it's one of these things where availability is just the assurance that don't disappear. You know, once you get behind the rail, don't disappear. Don't forget us. And as a professionally trained chaplain that does this day in, day out, with people that I know, with people that I don't know, just providing that level of assurance that I'm with you. That's the job. And then how that translates into a commissioner role, I think it's actually been really, really engaging for me to consider this skill set that I've been developing over the past 3 decades as a pastor, as a healthcare chaplain. How that translates to public service has been it's been pretty fascinating, and it's a smooth transition.
All right. So one of the big questions here is, both of you are going to be new.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole life is going to change, whether you know it or not,
Mm-hmm.
in certain ways. One of the questions is, how are you going to be able to learn, get up to speed, and make decisions? What are you going to do to be able to do all those things and make decisions for your community that's in the best interest of your community at the same time? Because there is a learning curve. No one has done this job until they actually get it, you know? So how are you going to make space? Because I know you be out here, Kim, in the community. And if you're a chaplain, that means you have responsibility to a congregation somewhere. How are you going to balance it out? Because now the community is going to be looking to you to learn and take action at the same time. Who wants to go first?
You want me to go first this time? Sure, I'd be happy to. There's certainly going to be a learning curve. Learning is something I've been doing all my life, with school work, with professional work. That's not something I'm concerned about. I was on the Athens in Motion Commission, so I got a sense of like how civic engagement begins at a commission level. But then getting into this role, and I really appreciate what's informed, I think, a lot of your work, Mokah, is the industrial areas movement and how you can get deep within the community. Like, where does the power reside? And if you are available to the community as conversations are being had, as you're listening, then that can inform your policy making, and it's building rapport in this whole process. You know, you can be in a government seat position and sort of dictate, but you can listen at the grassroots level and see what is the concerns that people have. So what's interesting to me is, as we're in a local race, people are concerned about traffic. I mean, there's all these national issues, but people just want to know, how can I get somebody to not drive 90 miles an hour on my street? And so it's coming up with these real solutions that, speed humps are one way to do it, but there's also other ways to do it that are available to us. So the learning curve will be there, but I'm a lifelong learner. And this is what's been so neat, is to see here's a next level of learning how to serve this community in a powerful way.
And Kim, what about you?
As a person who has been learning my whole life, but also a person who's understand the work ethic that it takes to endure this type of level of work with managing a nonprofit, managing community, managing a level of being on call, managing a level of that continue to learn all the time. So I am prepared for the season of the learning curve, but also just the level of engagement and the level of just being committed to do what's right for our community and to stand up and have a voice and to be able to bring that voice to the commission, and to be able to be there for our people and for the people in this community especially in District 5, who are saying, everywhere I go, they're saying, affordability, infrastructure. They're saying they want, a walkable district. So they're saying this. And so I want to make sure that the decisions that I'm making, that they're heard. So I want to make sure that I'm learning and making sure we're making the right decisions to move Athens forward.
Can you give a shout out to the name because of your girls group? Because when I moved to Athens, that was in 2011. You've been doing that program. So you say you do the girls program, but can you say what the program is so everybody knows?
Okay. So when you met me, it was just a girls, but we have expanded
Oh,
far
so you
beyond.
got,
Yeah.
okay.
So when she met me, we were doing Star Quality Girls, and that was with Miss Jean Sewell, which is late Miss Jean Sewell. But we found it. Since then, I found it Cultivating Lifetime of Legacy, which is now 14 years. And so it's Cultivating Lifetime of Legacy. So our program is Next Generation Prep Academy, and that's where we work with kids 12 to 24.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, so a major concern for voters is whether candidates are, well, I'm going to ask the same question again. My bad. All right, a major concern for voters are sidewalk, traffic safety, and transit access are reoccurring issues across districts. What is your plan to improve transportation equity in Athens, including sidewalks, public transit, and safe mobility for residents who do not drive? Because, I mean, every year someone is getting hit. And I'm just like, what can we do to prevent that? And Athens is a community that they'd like to walk, ride their bikes. So what is your solutions to that?
Well, I can go ahead and go. Well, one of the things that I know that I've seen and experienced, especially on Tallahassee Road, after the roundabout, they did a great job expanding sidewalks to the roundabout. And then the bus stop is right on Whitehead. Well, a lot of people had to move outside of that area to get affordability. So they had to move out a little past past Vaughn Road just to get some duplex areas to get affordability. But they have to walk up to get that bus stop. So a lot of people in that area have complained about people walking in the street, that safety, and want to make sure we have sidewalks there so that people can get to that bus stop, or that we expand the bus stops. Also on Cathwood, we were out canvassing. We seen someone in a wheelchair, someone pushing someone in a wheelchair to the from Rolling Ridge up to the bus stop. That is absolutely unacceptable. No sidewalks to that bus stop. So we got to do a better job of making sure that our residents have tools to access safety, mobility in this community, whether that is sidewalks, expanding our public transit system, and then just improving our traffic altogether.
All right, and
Yeah,
Craig.
that's all great. It's so essential. We call it, doing an audit. When I was on Athens in Motion, we would do some audits where you would go from like one place where there was a bus stop, and then there would be no sidewalk to get to the next bus stop. where there were these deficiencies in terms of the infrastructure. But for me, it's a process thing. Having been on a commission, I would sense that as we were putting in the time and the effort, the expertise to make recommendations, our chair said, all right, y'all, we got to go convince the mayor and commission that this recommendation is what we need to do in this community. As if there was sort of this intimidating entity that was going to prevent them from doing what they recommend after they'd studied all the issues. Where is the breakdown there? As we would have to go and we'd have to speak and we'd have to say, this is why we're making this recommendation, which is important. But the kind of commissioner that I would hope to be is one that not only is going to be an advocate as that process is taking place and having input, or at least encouraging as that process is taking place, but an ally behind the rail. When people come and they say, we have this proposal, they'll say, I know that this person has been at least informed as we're doing this hard work. And you've done the work. I mean, you've done so much work. And to know that there's going to be a commissioner who's going to have understood what's been proposed, who can perhaps provide feedback, say, hey, let's tweak this a little bit, send it back, and then it comes before, and then it can go, right? But we're ready to go. And it's smoothing out that where there's been just these bumps in the road, sometimes walls, right? Smoothing it out.
All right, so we're down to the crunch, 3 minutes left. I wish I had more time with you guys, but hey, you're putting in the work. Both of y'all are putting in the work, and you're down to the crunch. So this is your moment for people that are listening to barbershops. Spread the word. Tell your listeners and people that might live in your district, why should they vote for you? This is an opportunity to clearly state why you are the better candidate. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'm happy to go.
Okay.
We're both deferring. I tell you, Miss Bennett is a great candidate, and it has been a privilege to journey with her through this whole process. I admire her. I so respect anyone, and Miss Smith too. I mean, as we have put our name in this hat and said, okay, here I am. Mm-hmm. Send me, right? This is what we're living into. Honesty, integrity, hard work, comprehension. These are the heart of who I am. It has been my track record for the almost 51 years that I've been on this earth. And to think about serving this community in this powerful way, where we are at an interesting stage of the development of what Athens has been, of what Athens is becoming, it would be a privilege to be part of that in a very meaningful way. Collaborating with the other commissioners to say, hey, y'all, let's get this done. I am an optimist. I bring a spirit of hope, and building that rapport within our community. But I just want to thank you, Mokah, for having us on this program today to have this conversation. Thank you.
Kim, why should they vote for you? Why would you be the better candidate, a better commissioner?
Well, thank you for having me today, and it's been a journey. Just to get my thoughts together, it's hard to kind of sum yourself up, but I think my work over the last 20 years sums up the why I am the better candidate. I have served this community, rolled up my sleeve, did it without anyone telling me to step out, did it just to better this community. I am now stepping up to better this community because I see our community in such an array of so many different pockets of people needing help. And so I feel that my voice for District 5 and in all the communities, it would be so much beneficial. So Athens, you know me. And that's just a simple, you know my work ethic. You know that I will work hard for you. You know that you can trust me. You know my integrity. And you know that I love this city. And it wouldn't be nothing that I wouldn't do to keep us moving forward so that we can have affordable housing, so that our youth would thrive, and so that this community would be better, that we can all say that we love.
All right, there you have it. Woo! Mokah Speaks. We have finished this episode. Thank y'all. Fabulous. I even had a little studio audience
it.
up in
Yeah,
here.
that's
You
it.
know what I'm saying?